Welcome back for another amazing episode, and I'm really excited for that one because I know it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's the Corporate Happiness Show. I'm your host, Jacqueline Pirtle. You can find me at FreakyHealer.com. And I am a thought leader in mindfulness, happiness, and it's just dear to my heart to highlight in the corporate world how to bring happiness further along so people are actually happy. So today's guest, her name is Rebecca. Thank you so much for being on the show, Rebecca.
Thank you, Jacqueline, for having me. I'm thrilled to be here today, and I'm just in awe of your excitement of corporate culture and the way we inject happiness into the workplace. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. See, I'm already excited. Thank you so much. So, we met through the focus groups that I hold usually on Fridays, and we talk all about happiness and HR and just the work culture and everything. And that's how we met. And I just knew, oh my gosh, you just have so much good stuff to share. So, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you bring happiness to your people.
Absolutely. I am the Director of Human Resources and Employee Engagement at a national digital marketing firm called Higher Visibility. And they brought me on to this role not only to be your one-stop HR shop, but also to lead the movement of employee engagement and culture, getting people excited about what they do, making sure people don't dread getting up on Monday mornings. So I'm here to make sure that people get excited about work. They have the transparency, clarity, and knowledge that they need to not only think outside the box, but to think like there is no box, to get excited about work, to get excited to come to work on a Monday morning and say, hey, I actually like my job, more so than even smiling, laughing, and getting excited about being there. So that's really what I do. I'm a professional leader in the HR world. I have a professional certification, a master's degree, and you can count all the degrees I have, but that doesn't even matter. I'm a human being and I want other human beings to feel amazing at work. I want to empower people to love their job. So that's what I do.
I love it. And I mean, you highlight that you are a HR team player, right? And that's what you stand for, to be a team. And I mean, I tell you what, Rebecca is like, if I come to work on Monday and Rebecca is there and I get to talk to you, I will come talk to you because you make everything fun. And that was a highlight in the focus group that you're giving your best to make things fun. So how do you do that?
Yeah, first and foremost, I think it is so important that I am myself. If I bring my true self to work, people will resonate with that. I'm not phony, I don't sugarcoat things. I get excited about actually being here. I smile, I enjoy the people I work with, and I get excited about my work. When I get excited about my work, it's contagious.
Yeah.
And people then get excited about their work. I allow myself to be present, and I'm also very available to the people who are in our company. It's so important to me to be here and be present so people can feel confident in the workplace.
I like that. So, what would you say, to HR professionals that are maybe a little bit, still on these old ways, or working in a company with the old ways, how to kind of infuse it with new ways and bring a little bit fun to the table? Because I think sometimes it's like we think like, oh, everything has to change, and then we see this big mountain, and then we don't even know where to start, especially if you're like, kind of like a champion and making things newly. How do you
Mm-hmm.
start on a smaller level and infuse the company step by step with a little bit more fun so people actually like working there?
Yeah, I think it's so important to inject sociality within the workplace. Work is work, and you do have to get things done, make a paycheck, put, food on the table, but it's not all about that anymore. It really is a culture purpose. We get excited about working, but let's get excited about being social at work too. So how I do that is I incorporate social events throughout the work week. We are a remote first organization and we're represented by 16 states. That's a lot of states. So
That
I want to make
is,
sure
yeah.
that people don't remain siloed within their departments, even within their homes. So we have coffee breaks and lunch breaks, which I call soul food, and we have virtual happy hours. We have all company meetings, town halls, and we get together as a group We do mindful meditation. We do, what national day is it? National Taco Day. Well, let's talk about tacos. Let's talk about something that has nothing to do with work and get excited about that. Let's be human together, because that will then decrease anxiety. It'll raise the serotonin levels of the people that work in the organization, and then they'll feel more relaxed to do their job, and they'll do even better because of that.
Yeah, and when people are relaxed, they feel safe, and they will also be then okay to share with you more openly.
Yeah,
Well, this is what makes me really happy, and this is where I'm having trouble, and this is what I don't like. And that is, that's gold for you, right? It's like that
absolutely.
that knowledge.
And when people come with the feedback and they say it's impacting their day in such a positive way, or they love being here because it's not just a mundane job, it's a job they get excited about, but then they get to meet other people like themselves that are motivated and passionate, and they get to be social with them. And that's really, in a basic word, pretty cool. So
It's
I think
infectious, basically.
it is infectious.
It's like, and it's almost like what comes to my mind is like, you do it with one, two, three, four, five people, and then they go on in their day and they're infecting the people with that too. So in reality,
Yeah.
you're getting a ball rolling, and that actually keeps going and keeps giving, and then it's going to come back to you too, because people are going to come to you and say, hey, Rebecca, they're not afraid to go to HR because Rebecca is there, right?
That's right. But Jacqueline, in all honesty, what also really helps this whole culture vibe is allowing people to be themselves.
Yeah.
Coming to these events, coming to the social events, to the professional events, and letting people open up, be who they are naturally, and not can it, but actually give them the platform to be able to be who they are, speak their purpose, and get excited about where they are.
Oh, I like that. It's very important. Be who they are. I mean, like you say, you still have to do your work, you still have to get stuff done, but it's not I think in the focus group we talked about it like the old ways. It was like, leave everything outside and then step into the
Mm-hmm.
door of working, and that's it. You arrive as an empty shell. Leave your stuff at
Exactly.
home, and I think that's what you're touch basing on. That does not work anymore, right?
That's so true. And I'll tell you, I know it's impactful because we do have a lot of people that come into the organization from referrals from current employees saying, I have so much fun at work. Go talk to Rebecca. Let her make you feel comfortable, confident in what you can bring to the table. So that also makes me feel confident that I'm doing something that makes a difference within an organization to retain people and get them excited about being here, to reach for the stars and have that longevity that they can count on.
I like that. So when somebody starts at your company and then, they say, "Hey Rebecca, I'm new." How do you make them comfortable? Do you have like a some sort of a system, a
I
Rebecca
do.
system?
That's such a great question, Jacqueline. So I do have a system. I don't believe onboarding is just a day one thing. It's a day one thing. It's a day two thing. Let me check on you in day five. Let me check on you on week two, week three, and week four, making sure you have what you need. You're able to find the protocols, the procedures, and the processes that will make you successful. Let me be accessible to you to make sure that you're learning what you need to learn and you know who to go to. But we also have fun when we do onboarding. On the third onboarding day, when I meet people on that Friday, so I meet with them Monday when they come in and Tuesday, but on Friday we do something called 15 minutes of fame with Rebecca, and it's a lot of fun. So as part of my onboarding shtick, I get people excited about being who they are. So the first couple of days, it's all about HR and the HRIS systems and getting everyone acclimated to kind of drinking the juice of the organization and getting excited about learning the systems. That third day I meet with them, it's called 15 minutes with Rebecca, 15 minutes of fame with Rebecca. And I want to know who you are, what book you're reading, what emoji you use most in your phone. Are you a pancakes or waffles person, and why? And if you were to have a talk show, who would you want to interview, and why is that? I want to get to know someone's insides. I want to get to know why somebody gets excited about certain things. And when you get to know somebody's insides, they feel that you are investing in them. that you are taking a true stance and getting to know them, not only as the employee and a number, but a person.
Yeah.
So that 15 minutes of fame with Rebecca gets people excited. Wow, they really care about me. They want me to thrive. They want to know what emoji I use most in my phone. I mean, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's so much fun. So I want to make sure I'm getting to know my employees, not only on the professional levels that they deserve to be known for, because they bring so much interesting passions to the marketing field, but also on a personal level, and how I can incorporate their personal strengths into their professional journey.
Well, and I think what's coming in is like, so you do this, these 15 minutes of fame. I want to do that with you. And then, an employee has an issue. So when they come to you, not only do they feel comfortable because it's a friendly environment, we can even still have fun, even if there's a problem, this is great. And that's going to bring a very cool solution. But also, like, I think you know so much about them and you feel them, right? You really put the effort into feeling them, that when they come with a problem, you will also have then an insight in how to speak to them, how to make them comfortable, and even the solution, whatnot. So I would say you're taking HR to a whole new level because, right?
Definitely.
Because you're actually, yes, we're saying, okay, not just paper pushers. Yes, that's great. But also culture and values. That's great. But you're taking it to even a higher level where you say, I want to get to know you. I want to feel you. I want to feel what you're about. And that helps in good times and in harder times, right?
Absolutely. I want to know, hey, do you have kids? And this way, if you're having a bad day, I might say, well, that person's a mom or a dad, and they might just be having a bad parenting day. Let's cut them some slack. Or I want them to know I have 3 batshit crazy teenagers, and hey, guess what? Sometimes I have a bad day too. I might be a very personable, colorful, passionate professional, but I'm human too. So I want to know what makes you tick, what gets you down, how can I help you? And if you don't empower me to know you, I can't help you the best I can help you.
Yeah, you can help, but not on the best level. And what I get is from you is also that's also like, it's not even just about a job for you. It's like you really you embody just being that. You want to know people, and you want to create a better world, and you want to help, but it fulfills you. I think it's very important because you're saying, I want people to be themselves, but I also think that you're really standing up for that and saying, I am myself at my work, and that's why you can offer that to people so openly.
Absolutely. I'm available to my staff, even though I don't have to be, and we truly have a great work-life balance here at HV. I am available to my staff pretty much 24/7 if there's an emergency or an urgency, or if someone just needs to talk or to vent, or needs a resource for mental health or an EAP phone number or something. I want people to know there is someone they can count on and feel confident that they can trust. Human resources is all about being human. And if we don't put the human side in human resources, why are we doing this job?
Yeah.
I mean, truly, I believe that. That is my heart and soul of what I do, is being human to people. Treat others as you would want to be treated.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And that's the thing, is like when people feel that, people don't want to go somewhere else, even if there's a problem, because they say, hey, wait a minute. First of all, I feel really good here. And second of all, there is always a solution, because there is always a solution. Quitting and changing job does not always have to be the solution. Sometimes it's a better opportunity or more fitting or something, and that's perfect. But a lot of times, I think if you have an environment like you're creating and there's a problem coming up, quitting or firing is maybe not even first on the table, because there are other ways, right?
That's so true, Jacqueline. The grass is not always greener on the other side. You need to make sure, first of all, that you're in a job that you feel you can make a contribution to. And once you're in a job that you feel you can make a contribution to, make sure you feel confident in the culture and that you fit that culture. and be a part of it. Don't just dip your toe in the water, but kind of jump in with 2 feet. Get excited about where you work. This is where you are 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, sometimes more. And if you want to make an impact, do so socially and professionally. And I promise you, when you blend those two, you become so much more of an empowered person within your profession.
Yeah, and what I'm getting is like, and I like visualize that, so you go to work and you dip your toe in, or you go to work and you just jump right in. Well, what does that do from a personal level as an employee or even as a leader, right? What it does for you is you actually really open up to be you. Because when you jump wholesomely in there is no holding back. You can't pretend and jump. That's not going to work.
Exactly.
The water is going to hurt you. So, but when you just say, I'm just going to fully, completely just jump in and see what it is, that right there opens you up to being you fully and completely. So on a personal level, it helps you too when you follow what you're saying to jump right in. It really helps you. And you might actually find out some things about yourself that you didn't even know before. And for the company, what it does is think about all these people jumping wholeheartedly in that pool. That makes a richer environment, more creative.
Absolutely.
And it's also more fun, right? Versus it's Rebecca that's creating the fun and she's all in, but everyone else just puts the toes in and doesn't know. But I also think that's a lot of times because it's like people where they worked before, they're not used to that and they don't know how to trust it. What would you tell to these people?
Well, I would say, think of it this way. Here's another good visualization. There's being in a company, and then there's being part of a community.
Oh, I like
Do
it.
you want to be just working for any old ABC Acme company? Or do you want to be part of a team that has a community base, a collaborative base, a base that likes to socialize, to professionally collaborate, to actually talk to one another, to enrich each other with ideas? You can go to work and go home, and that is the end of that, very cut and dry. Or you can create community. You can create relationships. You can get excited about what you do. Even if you're more introverted, I'd say jump in with those 2 feet. Don't dip that toe, because you chose to come to this position, whatever it is, because you're passionate about what you do in the professional world. Well, so are the other people you work with. Get to know them, get excited with them, be part of that community, join that community. And take those bulls by the horns and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be part of this community. And gosh darn it, it's going to be freaky fabulous. You know?
Yeah, no, I like that wholeheartedly. And that's also what life is all about. And I feel like in this shift, with COVID and very intense times, everything is changing, shifting, and everything is out more in the open. And I think it's an invitation to be more you, be wholeheartedly you. And listen, I mean, like live life fully, not just privately, but also like in the workplace. And what came to my mind when you said community, also to realize that when you do that and you really are jumping in wholeheartedly, that means you have a whole community, you have a backbone standing with you when things get tough, and things do get tough in life. And sometimes we don't have that in private, it's like out of whatever reason, right? You move a lot or anything, or we all live somewhere else or something. But you actually have a backbone, and why not create that at work? Because there is also something in common there, right?
For sure. And that's what makes it so important. I believe in professional development, but I believe you can inject a little bit of fun and promise within sociality, within professional development. I created a program called Be a Better You in collaboration with a company called Sama, where we offer one-on-one coaches as a part of our team's virtual toolkit. And it's very exciting because our leaders, our managers, our rising stars, they get to be part of this Be a Better You. We believe in you. We want you to thrive. We want you to be part of this community. It's exciting to grow. It's exciting to want to move forward in your career. It's not just business, but it's your essence
Yeah.
that's on the inside, and it's fantastic. And you should feel good about that. Be a better you. Go for it. You
Yeah.
don't have to hold back.
Yeah, I like that. And be that essence, not just in private, be that essence at work too, because
Yeah,
I believe in a
exactly.
way of being you and doing life. And
Yeah,
sometimes in life you're working and sometimes you're, privately. However, it all comes from the essence of being you. So,
absolutely.
yeah. So,
Abs-
being such a leading edge way of infusing the company, what would you what would you say to somebody that wants to change in your company? Because my thinking is this: since you're so leading edge and since you're so dynamic and since you're so supportive of be you, that also brings forth an always ever changing you, because we're
yeah,
always ever changing, life is always ever changing, it's the natural flow of how things go. And in such a supportive and open and fun company, you are furthering that ever changing. So that would then say, well, we actually like when people change, and when they want to change, can they openly come to you and say, hey, Rebecca, I
mhm.
loved doing this and I kind of still do, but I changed with all this development and being me and finding me, and I actually kind of would rather like to do that. So, how do you deal with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, so that's so important. I love to take a pulse or culture temperature of our employees in many different ways. For example, I just sent out a questionnaire about, do we enjoy what we're doing socially? Do we want more? Do we want more structured employee resource groups, or do we want to keep it casual with coffee talk and soul food and lunch breaks? What do you need? What do you crave? What do you want to inject in your workday besides work? How can I make it a better day so you are more productive? Because, yes, of course, it's about the bottom line. And how do we get you feeling so good that you're doing your best to
Yeah.
get to the bottom line, right? So, what do you need to do that? Is it more social functions? Is it less social functions? Is it, chatting on water cooler on our remote platform during the day? Sometimes I get excited around 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I'll put something on the water cooler chat and say, what are you having for a snack? Indulge with us, engage, tell me what you're eating, what are you drinking? And then all of a sudden there's like 50 people telling us they're having grapes, they're having coffee, but you know what? It's getting people involved. It's reminding that we are part of that community. So that's how I'm doing that. I'm making sure I'm kind of putting myself out there in different channels, different ways, different places, different types of pulse checks to make sure that we're still there and that we're still community.
I like that. And you're not just asking these questions in a questionnaire related to work. I like that. You're asking what are they eating, and it's so fun and so simple and so cool
That's
to just
right.
say, "Oh, I'm eating that." And you know what? Another employee might say, "Oh, you know what? They're eating grapes. Hey, I'm going to go get myself some grapes too." So it's like this, right? Oh,
Exactly.
I haven't eaten yet, or I'm actually hungry too. I'm going to better go take care of myself. So I
That's right.
like everything that you're talking about, what you're doing and standing for feeds something else. Like it's like this rolling ball. Like you talk about one thing, but there's so many other good things attached that come out of it. And I think
Absolutely.
I think you're a specialist in that.
Thank you. I think so too. Like I said, part of my job is to be that employee engager, to get everybody all in, hands in, like when you're having a rally at a sports function and everyone's like, hands
Yeah.
in, 1, 2, 3, go. Like, we want to be a team. Well, how do we do that? We have to participate. How do we participate? By giving them things that engage them, that make them excited. How do we get them excited? By being excited ourselves. If I go to an event that I'm hosting, a social event, but I'm as droll and drone as the next person, they're not going to be excited. But if I
No.
get excited because it's National Taco Day, or, Eat Fruit at Work Day, which it was National Eat Fruit at Work Day the other day, how boring is that generally? But I made it exciting. So everyone else then got excited. So you just have to really get into the groove, really kind of get into the weeds, get into the dirt, get all funky and have a good time with it,
Yeah, I like that. I like that. But like I said, you're impersonating that too. That's you. That's who you are. So what do you think HR could use a little bit more of? Because I tell you what, before I started this podcast, I didn't talk with that many HR people. I work with, individuals, and conscious businesses and conscious leaders. And talking in this podcast in a focus group with HR, I'm like, oh wow, they're like the glue. They're like, they can make the change.
That's right.
They can make the change. And a lot of times I hear like, they love their job, they're doing really awesome. But this is what we could use a little bit more of. So what in your eyes could
I'm going to give you one word.
Yes.
Levity. HR needs to lighten up. Okay. And I know a lot of people might be throwing tomatoes at me right now listening to this podcast, but it's okay to lighten up a little bit. It's okay to infuse a little, humor and lightness and laughter and fun into HR. Yes, I do everything that HR does. I write policies, I'm multi-state payroll, I create all the different things that make our employees safe. But hey, remember, HR is human resources. We need to lighten up and get people to follow us to do that. If we don't lighten up, everyone else isn't going to either.
That's also bringing more fun to your job. So why not indulge?
Right.
Why not jump into the pool, like you said, completely and do your fun a little bit on the funner side, right?
That's right. Absolutely. Levity is my answer to that. I think we need to add a little levity to everything in life, to be honest.
I think we're taking everything too serious, honestly.
Yeah, in general. But HR is such a protocol type position where you have to follow the rules and follow the regulations and make sure the laws are being kept proper and making sure, all of the different accommodations and leave policies and everything's being followed. And we do that. We're good HR people. But good HR people also shows people how to have fun within their organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said throwing tomatoes at you. I tell you what, listeners, throw donuts at her because she is a donut lover. That will give her a lot of fun, right?
Right.
You're into donuts, yeah?
I am so into donuts. It is my thing ever since I was a little girl. I have donut tattoos. Let's see, I have a
amazing.
Rooster eating a donut right here, folks.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
But I also have this tattoo that I live by with my HR career. It's, only live once, do it now.
Yes.
And, it's funny that you mentioned donuts and tattoos and everything. I want to make sure people in the organization that they're working for are following their dreams. They're doing it now. Don't wait another day. Inject, get excited, engage. If you have an idea, put it forward. What's the worst somebody can say to you? No, don't be afraid. It's okay. Have fun. Put your ideas out there. It's so important to be part of a community within your organization.
I love that. So how do you keep yourself kind of in that alignment of having fun and also reminded, like you say, you're a human being too. What do you do to snap yourself back into, hey, now is now, I'm going to go all in?
You're talking about me personally?
Yes, you personally. Yeah, besides eating donuts.
That's right. So besides eating donuts, this is going to sound pretty nerdy, but I love reading industry articles about human resources, about culture, about people management. I want to know what other people are doing. I want to know how people are retaining good people. I want to know what people are doing wrong. I want to know what's working, what's failing. And that's exciting to me because I want to then grow on that. I want to be the next best person who creates another process that actually does work. I want to build on failure and grow with success. So I love reading those articles and listening to podcasts and making sure that I'm kind of in the groove with what culture is supposed to dictate within an organization right now. And I also have, like I said, 3 crazy teenagers, 7 cats, and a partridge in a pear tree. So I really do understand that life could be complicated, but that's why work has to be fun. That's why going to work should make you smile. That's why going to work should give you that professional high that gets you so excited to go back the next day. So I think that's pretty important.
Absolutely. And it starts with you, everyone personally, to just say, hey, I'm going to be the best me that I can be. And
That's right.
that immediately equals the happiest you that you could be,
Absolutely.
And I feel like,
100%.
yeah, and I feel like what you just said with reading these articles, I don't think that's nerdy at all because it feeds your soul.
It does feed my soul.
It feeds your soul. And then you said soul lunch and whatnot, right? That means you're feeding it forward to the people. And it comes across that you really just are so passionate about it. So do you have any like inspired like article that you just read and there was that one thing that you said, oh my gosh, that is so cool, I am gonna totally do
yes.
that? Yes,
I'm going to tell you something. This is going to be very left field and very opposite of conservative. And HR tends to lean to the conservative side. But as you can see, I'm not very conservative.
There has to be balance. Let's put it.
I like to push the limits,
Yes,
push the boundaries, and try things that really are cutting edge. So I just the Harvard Business Journal is something I love to read, and I respect them greatly. And they really have incredible subject matter experts that write some phenomenal industry articles in HR. So there's this article in the Harvard Business Journal that is so cutting edge and so interesting that, this is what came to mind when you asked me that. It's the opposite of conservative, and I think it is spot on. It was saying that if you can use swear words with your cohorts, with your colleagues, with your fellow leaders, with your teammates, then you're in a really comfortable zone with the people you work with. That means you can be yourself. Not everybody swears, not everybody likes to swear, and not everybody does that. I didn't write the article, I'm telling you what the article said, but it said if you can be yourself and you are someone who swears and drops the F-bomb and uses the S word, and I tend to, and you can do that with the people with grace and at ease and a little class, then you're in a good place because you can really have that comfort level. And I think that's what the article was about comfort level, but it was about swearing in the workplace. And that really comes to mind when you ask me that.
Well, when you think about it, like if you swear and you're comfortable, you're not worried about not being you, and you're also not worried about losing your job, meaning that you're actually really comfortable at that job.
Absolutely. I swear all the time at work. I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous. I don't try not to, and I don't try to. It's just kind of who I am. But I do it with class and grace and fun and levity, and it's not rude. It's just part of the conversation. And that's what this article in the Harvard Business Review was about. And it was fabulous.
Yeah, I love it. And you know what? It's like with humor taken, it's like it can really, really bring out some good laughs. And it's a little bit of ease too, a little bit of ease. Like you say, lighten up, right?
Lighten up, people. Sometimes it's okay to just lose your SHIT.
Yes.
And let it go. Let it go. Laugh for 5 minutes. Get that serotonin boosting. Get your dopamine levels going. Get excited. Laugh. Let it go. And then go back to work. I promise you, you will be more productive.
Oh, yeah. And you're also letting go of a lot of pressure, a lot of like sometimes frustration and whatnot. You're letting go, and then you come to the table and in a much different frequency, actually. I like that. I need to hunt down that article. I like that a lot.
It's fantastic. I'll send it to you.
Excellent. That is wonderful. Maybe I can put the link into the podcast episode.
I would love that. That would be good. It really spoke to me, and it spoke to me because it must be talking about people like me, people who feel they can be themselves within the workplace. And that's when you're in an organization that trusts you, that you have an impact with, and that you can be yourself.
Yeah. And it's like you saying, like you're kind of pushing the limits a little bit. I tell you what, without pushing the limits, we're never going to move. We're just going to stay put. That doesn't mean you have to agree with it, but it means that at least look at that limit, because it might just shift you a little bit further into expansion, even if not fully, but it opens up your mind, and it opens up new ways, pathways in your brain, and you're like, oh, next time you read the article, maybe you do agree, right? I mean, it's
Absolutely.
like, so to be a little
and
bit
there are
loose.
so many people that would read that article at first in a professional business-like mindset and say, oh my
Yeah.
God, what are they saying? Swearing in the workplace? Oh no, the horror. Like, but honestly, what it really, I think the underlying message is be yourself. And if
Be
you
yourself,
can be yourself within a comfortable surrounding, within the place that you do your best work, then hallelujah and more power to you.
Yeah, and also like be a little bit more open-minded, because even though if at the end somebody does not agree with it, it's really important in a community. I think in a workplace, like old-fashioned type workplace, it's a little different, but if you want to create a really good community that respects each other, it's important to be open-minded and hear other people out, even though it's pushes your limits.
That's right.
Listen to it, because you might actually learn something, and you might actually change for the better, right?
It's true. I had an employee just recently come to me and say, Rebecca, I really appreciate that you swear sometimes, and the different social functions that we have. It just makes me feel so much more at ease, less stiff, and more relaxed.
Yeah.
And I said, bingo. That's exactly right.
Bingo. You just won the taco or my donut or something, right? You just did, right? So, hey, so we're actually at the end of our conversation. I mean, I could just keep talking with you, because I feel like the co-creation is just like, my mind is more open. I'm expanded, and I want to read that article. So thank you for sharing everything with us and for being on the show with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have really enjoyed, sharing what I love to do. It is my passion. It is my bread and butter. And if I can make the difference in at least one human being's life within the workplace, I feel like I have done my duty on this earth. But I feel like I'm doing that for a lot more than just one person.
Oh,
and I am
100%.
humbled to do it. I'm humbled to do it.
100%. I think you're changing everything. Everyone that you come in contact with, it's just, they leave differently. And I really appreciate that.
I invite anyone who's ever interested in engaging in a conversation further to, link up with me on LinkedIn.
Yes.
I'm under Rebecca Thomas. I work for Higher Visibility, and we are at highervisibility.com, and I would love to connect with you, engage with you. Well, let's talk about things. If you don't agree with what I've said, let's talk about it. Let's share each other's thoughts. There's no wrong way. There's just ways of sharing.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That was my next thing. Where can people find you? So I think everyone should get in contact with you and open a conversation. And just like in the focus groups, it's like the people are exchanging their contacts, and it's about being a community beyond work, beyond your personal, beyond everything, and to listen to each other. So thank you for being on the show. And to all the listeners, I hope you go check out Rebecca, you connect with her, you check out the article, and I hope that you move forward in your journey much more inspired and knowledgeable. So thanks for spending your time with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I've enjoyed every moment. Can't wait to connect with everyone. Be well, folks.
Thank you.